And now China's trade surplus was up nearly fourfold year-on-year at $11.43 billion in April, the official says on Tuesday, amid calls from Washington for Beijing to allow its currency to rise. The surplus was up from $3.33 billion in April 2010 on record exports, the General Administration of Customs said. Exports were up to 29.9% at $155.69 billion. It said while imports rose 21.8% to $144.26 billion. The trade surplus in March was $140 million, up from a deficit of $7.3 billion the previous month, the first shortfall since March 2010. The rate of year-on-year growth was lower in April than in March, when it was 35.8% for exports and 27.3% for imports. The United States has said China maintained its currency artificially low to keep its export competitive and hurts its own economy. The latest figures come as the two countries were holding their annual strategic and economic dialogue in Washington, where trade and currency issues were expected to loom large on the agenda.
While lingering from the meeting in Washington, the U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton told China visiting state counselor that the real progress on climate change could be achieved if both countries managed a joint cooperation. If the United States and China can work together, then they can make a giant step forward fulfilling the agenda and making the next UN climate meeting, Durban, South Africa, a success, Clinton said during the meeting with the Chinese State Councillor Dai Bingguo, who is in Washington for the high-level talks between the two nations. Clinton said during the meeting that we believe that on the American side that it is our shared responsibility during this dialogue to work toward creating a roadmap that our respective governments will use to continue building solutions that give real specificity to the positive, cooperative, and comprehensive relationship that our two presidents have directed us to pursue. The 17th United Nations Climate Change Summit is scheduled to take place on November 28th in Durban, South Africa. U.S. President Barack Obama and top members of his administration raised pointed concerns on Mondays about Beijing's recent security crackdown on democracy advocates during the first days of high-level talks. Obama, meeting with the leaders of a large official Chinese delegation, voiced his concerns about the situation in China, the White House said in a statement. President underscored his support for the universal human rights of freedom of expression and worship of the access to information and political participation. Obama's comments came after Vice President Joe Biden and Secretary of State Hillary Clinton had argued earlier Monday that China's security crackdown, in the largest in years, threatened the country's long-term stability, which the U.S. side said depended on the respect for human rights. Dai said his opening remarks that China had made progress in the area of human rights, but he did not discuss the recent security crackdown, clients are reminded.
A report says Toyota's global car production disrupted by parts shortages after Japan's March 11th tsunami and earthquake will likely to return to normal in 2 to 3 months earlier than expected. Japan's top business daily Nikkei said Tuesday that Toyota's output will normalize earlier than the end of this year as parts shortages are easing. However, it didn't cite any sources. Toyota said last month its worldwide production will likely return to normal levels by November or December. Toyota Motor Corporation spokeswoman Shiori Hashimoto could not confirm the report. The disasters destroyed manufactories in northeastern Japan, causing severe parts shortages for Toyota and other automakers. The supply crisis has cost the company production of 400,000 vehicles in Japan and 100,000 in overseas.
Well, when we come back after the next break, we have more news for you as well as around Asia on the topic of McDonald's commercial and church opposition.